feels to never ever have enough time to play at all.
So I'm getting ready to get started on finishing from here back towards the new corrals. And I think I'm gonna do this in 2 stages. The first stage will be between this area over to this area. And for the most part, we'll probably be behind the spur track here. Right here, I plan on making this road continue on this way, but then I want a triangle shape right in here of vegetation and trees. I'm also thinking maybe maybe a small rock outcropping or something. I just want there to be a nice visual element here that kind of breaks up this area and kind of, I don't know, maybe even creates a scene block as you move from here over to this side of the layout. And then I plan on doing a very similar thing over here in this area, pardon the camera movements, where, you know, there's definitely some vegetation and something to look at over here. And I'm still messing around with the idea of having some tanks over here so that an oil tanker can come in here, some kind of tank car, to increase the variety of rolling stock that feeds this spur. So I think that's gonna be the first thing I do, is just go in here and start messing with this area over here and just kind of work from left to right behind this spur track to begin with. What I've done is I went ahead and measured the spot where my little scene is gonna go there and transferred the measurements to a piece of paper just so I kind of have an idea of how much space I have to work with. I tried putting these in here. They're too big even after kind of cutting them down. So I think I'm not gonna mess with any castings. I could probably make it work with a lot of effort, but I'm just not gonna mess with it. I think probably what I'll end up doing is going in with rocks maybe after I get the trees in and whatnot, or before I put the trees in. So these trees, they're super trees, and I just got them leaned up there, but I'm gonna shape a little bit of this so that they fit together to give me a little more room in there so that, you know, one tree's growing up into the other. And then I'm also going to make a pine tree of some kind that will fit back here, and then it will start branching out above this first smaller tree. I'm gonna look at some different pine trees. I wanna do something different than my others. I'm thinking like maybe a ponderosa, if that's the right term I'm using. But I'm gonna make a couple, 3 trees and then get back. I've got a bunch of trees made. I say a bunch, or I think I made 10 or so. I have no idea if I will make use of all of these or not. I was in the process and I thought, well, let's just go ahead and make some of the better looking trees I had in my super tree box. So I did that. I've also went ahead and made this, which is supposed to be a representation of a ponderosa pine. I don't know how well I accomplished it or not. And then of course, the trees that I've got specifically for the diverging road route. I've done something a little different with the pine trees. See if I can get it to focus. I used dowel rods instead of the balsa wood, and I went ahead and this is going to be an attempt here. I don't know how this is going to work. I actually super glued on some of the super tree material just to kind of see if maybe that might work. I don't know, we're gonna have to see how that turns out. This is, I stained the wood instead of, putting on some kind of bark material like ground foam. And I did that same thing with this tree, and I think it turned out pretty good. Just one step I didn't have to do. And most of these trees are gonna be background anyway, so I've got 3 more over here that I'm working on. So that's the next step, is to go ahead and get the static grass applied to the rest of my pine trees. The trees are finished. Like I said, I did several. I don't know if I'll use all of them or not, but I've got that part of the project finished here. Some final notes on the trees. This one, you'll note, has a really long, strange branch that comes out there, and then this side here is kind of devoid of any branches. I just got back from my trip up to the state of Washington to visit my daughter, and I tried to look at as many trees as I could on the trip. And one of the first things that, if you actually do that, you're going to notice is very few trees have a classic tree shape. I would say, for every one tree you can find that actually looks like what you might think a tree looks like when you remember one, there's probably 10 that, if you really study them, that have some kind of irregularity about them. So this tree was, an attempt at making something that maybe looked like maybe nature created it instead of, a human being. I don't know that I succeeded in that, but I also thought if I put another tree beside it, and there's no tree on this side, that might explain why this branch was allowed to grow longer and wider than these others. And then some of these other trees, I kind of did similar things, especially like the pine trees, the ponderosas. Not all of them actually have any kind of pyramid shape at the top. So at any rate, that's the trees, and I'm going to move on from here. I'm going to go ahead and pull the module out from the wall, remove the backdrop again, and then start working on the back side, and hopefully not get too over focused on a 2-inch by 3-inch area, because that's my nature. I finished my first layer of dirt work for the mini forest that's going to go in here. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, you kind of know my process here. I go in first with the layer of dirt, which was already there. And then the next layer is what I call fine forest floor, which is basically just blended up leaves and stuff from the yard. And then the next layer is just kind of a collage of different sizes of super dirt from brownstone, New England brownstone. So I'm gonna let it dry up a little bit because it's still wet right now. And then probably while it's drying, I'm gonna go, I just got a order in the mail yesterday from Scenic Express. So I'll probably open that up and kind of show you what I just got. So here's the Scenic Express box. I haven't pulled anything out yet, so we'll just start pulling stuff out at random. This is light green bushes, the type A bush. I believe the type A is low to the ground. This would be the lavender type A bush, just to add a little bit of color there. There's some blue or purple in there. Again, the smaller bush. And then this is the brown type D bush. Not sure. I can't remember. I think the type A maybe doesn't spread out as much. It comes straight up, and the type D is supposed to be a little bit wider across the ground. I might have those mixed up, but that's the general idea. This just kind of looks like some dead foliage maybe that I don't really have anywhere on my scene yet. And then this is the type C lavender. And it's definitely supposed to go straight up a little bit more than the others. I don't really remember getting a type C lavender, but obviously I did. Now, this is more bushes, but this is the way this works is you just get some tweezers and pull a little bit out at a time and kind of plant it individually. I really like this type of bushes. It really makes things look natural and real if you do it right. I'm not suggesting that I'm doing it right, but I'm trying. Same type, low ground bushes. This is just a sage green, so it's got just a little bit of blue to it, I suppose. This is more sage green. I think I got 2 of those because I really thought I needed more sagey looking color for where I'm modeling. And then this is late summer tufts. So it's similar in the way you plant it, but they're a little bit taller than the other tufts I've had before. And you just pull them out with tweezers a little bit at a time and plant them where you think they look good. And I think apparently I got 2 of those as well. Because you can never have too many tufts on your layout. I think. Yep, that's it. So I will continue working on ground cover. So I've added a lot of different material, most of which you just saw me open. Doesn't look exactly like what I pictured, but I'm gonna be perfectly happy with it. So I'll come around to the front side and let you take a look at what it looks like from the viewing aisle. And a lot of the detail may actually kind of be lost a little bit, I don't know. Have to get pretty close to see some of the detail. Of course, the lighting right now from where I'm filming is not optimal. I just threw some wood and some stuff that I had laying around. And I think I will now go in on the back side and put some low shrubbery there where the end of the layout meets the backdrop. All right, you can see I've added another tree back here. Again, it's another attempt at an aspen tree. The problem I have is I don't really have the right color of green, probably. It's a little too much yellow, but it's gonna work. And I've got some low shrubbery back there in the back behind the pickup there. I'll try and move without too much camera shake. And you can see more shrubbery back behind this other Model A panel truck there. Of course, the idea here is, if you have multiple different levels of stuff in front of and behind your main subject, which, in this case would be that panel truck, then it just looks a lot more further away than it really is, or at least that's the idea. So I think the next thing I'm going to start paying attention to is this area right here, probably from the stairs going up to the platform here, and then on around this side. I've got 3 or 4 more other gas pumps here, and a few other details that I'm gonna paint up and then come back and kind of finish off everything from this side of the building this way. So I guess stand by for that. I thought since I was gonna do some painting of detailed parts for the Farmers Co-op, I might as well do kind of an assembly line thing and paint up, you know, several more castings that I can make use of some places that I still need to finish up. So here's what I've got. All of the gray resin casting that I have are from Rusty Stump's scale models. They got lots of good stuff there. You got to check them out. I've also got this, which is the pillar crane that I have for Lael & Son. It's painted, but I still need to finish putting it together and sticking it on the layout. And it's from Model Tech Studios. I've got these white castings, and these are from Rusty Rail. And what was really cool is they gave me this one for free. All those barrels back there, and that's going to look great on the right-hand side of the Farmers Co-op. Eventually, I should have I got Walder's kit that's supposed to come in. It's been stuck in the US postal system for about 6 days in Oklahoma City. I have no idea why it hasn't arrived yet, but this will go good with that kit. And then I've got this, which will go inside of Oakboro Hay and Grain in combination with this. I think those two things are going to fit in there. And I've also got these switch stands. This is Precision Scale Company, PSC. There's no instructions on how to put them together, so that'll be an adventure. I don't know that I'm going to put all of them together. It just kind of depends on how difficult it is. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get started on painting this stuff up. I also have Elijah, the cigar store Indian, back here that will go in front of, oh no, he fell, in front of Stu's tobacco shop. So I'm going to kind of see how all these may or may not fit in here. You know, I want some proof of life inside here and kind of figure out where the details are going to go, and then I'm going to get started painting. I've got most of the details painted up. I did get everything that I want to make use of for the Farmers Co-op pretty much completed. I've got this fuel tank here. Tried to make it nice and dirty and rusty. And then the fuel pumps, I went ahead and painted red. I hope to eventually maybe get a Texaco printed sign here, a round Texaco sign that I can put on the top of these globes up on the top. I hope I can do that. And then I've got these barrels on the back side here. I didn't go to real extremes on the detail and painting those. I just kind of wanted to make them look like some junk barrels back there that's been there for a while. And once again, I still haven't gotten my order in of the larger fuel tanks that I want to put right in this area. So next step, I'm going to go in with some scenery materials and kind of blend it all together. I feel pretty good about the ground cover. Again, everything you see here, for the most part, is Martin Welberg stuff. I got some lavender, and this is just a light green bush. They come in the sheets that you just pull off a little bit at a time. If you look real close, you can actually see where my lighting comes out at. I guess this is the back side of the layout, so none of this will ever actually be seen. That's why I didn't do too much back here. Just probably more experimentation than anything else. And we'll go have a look at the front. And here's what the front's looking like. I haven't done anything here yet because I don't want to glue this in place until I kind of figure out exactly what I'm going to do with the rest of the pumps. I feel like I need to do a little more to them before I'm ready to permanently attach them to the layout. You might notice that I did do a little bit of weathering on the pickup truck there, so it's not quite so shiny. A little bit of oil stain there in front of that tank. I have no idea what the tank holds, but I don't guess it really matters. And so there it is. Go ahead and get this video posted. Still got a lot more to do, but I think this is a good stopping point. So once again, thanks very much for watching. And if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe.